Hello and welcome back SciTi Tech. In this video I'm going to show you how to mount a DSLR camera to your trinocular microscope with using a few simple materials such as a PVC pipe and a 55mm converter ring that allows you to be able to attach the two parts together and mount it directly onto your trinocular microscope to be able to get high quality photos and HD videos, all for under $15 instead of spending hundreds of dollars on an actual converter lens. Let's get started. This right here is a trinocular microscope, and the third part of the microscope is where you place the camera, and this camera is a 5-megapixel camera, which does not photograph very well and takes very bad video. So what I'm going to do is replace it with a DSLR camera, or in my case, an SLT camera. So what I'm going to do is create a converter mount to attach my camera to the trinocular microscope. And these are the items you're going to need to make for this project. The items you're going to need is a PVC pipe and a 55mm converter lens, which allows me to attach it to a 55mm lens and attach 72mm lenses. What I'm going to do is take the converter lens and place it on the bottom of the PVC pipe and attach it to the SLT camera, and then attach it to the microscope. I have right here this macro lens, which is perfect to use with the microscope and allows me to get a much better view of everything in the microscope. And what's good is that this lens is very small, which is actually the same diameter, if not a little smaller than what's on the microscope, which means it'll fit inside perfectly. So what I need to do is take some measurements and figure out how long the PVC pipe needs to be and attach everything together. Hold on a second, I have to fix the lighting because the background light is too bright. So what I need to do is take some cardboard to adjust the lighting. There, that's much better. I have right here a crow's feather, and I'm simply going to place it in the microscope. And now let's go test it out. I'm going to take the camera and place it on top, and right now I'm using a 25x lens on the microscope. And as you can see, this looks very nice, and you can see that it works perfectly. In my opinion, I don't really like this 25x lens because in my opinion it focuses things too close. So I'm going to swap it with a 10x lens. And now let's see how this looks and place the camera on top. As you can see, this looks very nice. This actually looks a lot better. Now let's see what happens if I don't use a lens, just out of curiosity. And as you can see, it does not work. So you must use a lens. So what I'm going to do is take a knife and cut out the inside of the pipe to make it a little bit thinner. And I'm going to take some sandpaper and do the same thing. Next, I'm going to take the hot air gun and heat up the pipe. Doing this will make the pipe nice and soft and more flexible, so that way I can be able to place it onto the microscope and it will bend into shape. Press it all the way down and it's now bent into shape. And as you can see, it goes all the way to the bottom, which is exactly what I want. Push it all the way through, wait for it to cool. Once it cools, it'll hold its shape. Now I'm going to place it onto the side of the microscope like this and get an idea of how long it needs to be. Take a pocket knife, place it onto the lens to make a reference mark so I have an idea of where I need to cut the pipe. And there, this is where I need to cut the pipe. So I have right here this saw, and I'm going to simply cut the pipe. And there, the pipe is now cut. Now let's go ahead and test it out and see how it looks. Place it over the lens of the microscope. And as you can see, it's a perfect length. And now let's go ahead and take the SLT camera and place it on top and see how this looks. And there, as you can see, it balances into place. Oh, and as you can see, this looks very nice. This is perfect. Next, I'm going to take the converter ring and attach it to the PVC pipe. I'm going to use hot glue to do that. But first, I need to take my pocket knife and pop off this PVC pipe. There, it comes off just like this. Next, take the converter ring and place it onto the camera. Screw it into place. And I'll take the PVC pipe and place it onto the camera. And now, glue it into place. And whoops, I made a mistake. I accidentally glued the wrong end of the PVC pipe. This part is supposed to go to the microscope, and this part is supposed to go to the camera. No big deal, it's an easy fix. I'm going to write up and place an arrow pointing up, so that way I don't make a mistake. Next, what I need to do is clean up this converter ring. Remove some of the excess glue. And there we go, the converter ring is now cleaned up. Place it back onto the camera. Now glue it back into place, and it should look just like this. Now you may be wondering, did I just ruin my macro lens? Actually, no, I didn't. Because when I unscrew it, it comes out nice and clean. Not a single drop of glue on the macro lens, so that way I can use the macro lens as it is. And whenever I need to put it on the microscope, I can simply place it back on. Because the width of the PVC pipe and the converter ring is almost the same, which means the glue does not pass through. And now place it onto the microscope. Goes in just like this. And there, as you can see, the project is now complete. Let's go ahead and test it out and see how this looks. What's very useful about this is I can be able to view what I'm looking at on this LCD instead of having to look in the microscope, and I can be able to photograph and film at the same time. Now let's go ahead and see how this looks on the camera. As you can see, this looks very nice. This, compared to the original camera, looks a lot cleaner and a lot smoother because the original camera had a lot of lag and a lot of jello effect. Using this SLT camera, allowing me to be able to see by 1920 by 1080 HD. And there you have it. Now you know how to make your very own DIY DSLR camera mount that attaches to a trinocular microscope, with using very simple materials that is under $15. Thank you for watching SciTi Tech. I hope you learned something new, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and of course click on the bell icon to be notified of future SciTi Tech videos. Till the next tech, goodbye.